A soft hum filled the quiet morning as sunlight spilled across the polished metal counters of the small cafe tucked on a busy downtown corner. Most customers didn't realize the bar wasn't just a bar. By evening, it transformed into one of the most vibrant lounges in the city. But right now it was all steaming espresso machines and sleepy commuters, ordering caffeine like it was oxygen. Amara wiped down a table at the front, her brown skin catching a soft glow as she moved with practiced calm, her black curls tied in a loose bun that still seemed determined to escape. She had been on her feet since dawn, yet there was a warmth to her presence, the kind that made strangers feel seen and regulars feel at home before they even sat down. She wasn't there because she loved coffee. She was there because life didn't give her the luxury of choosing passion over survival. Her mother had passed when she was 14, her younger brother depended on her, and college. Well, college could wait. Responsibility didn't. The door chimed and she turned when another customer. Nothing new. Except this one felt different the moment he stepped in. He wore worn jeans, a plain grey hoodie, and a baseball cap pulled low. He looked like any other tired traveler, casual and quiet. But his posture, the way he moved, wasn't casual at all. His shoes were scuffed but expensive. His eyes, sharp even beneath the brim, scanned the room like a man trained for difficult rooms. The kind of man who had power but didn't want it noticed. Amara didn't care. She had seen rich people, rude people, broke people, desperate people, and sometimes they were the same person in different uniforms. She only cared about doing her job right. So when he stepped up to the counter, she greeted him with the same warm tone she offered everyone. No more, no less. Good morning. What can I get for you? Just coffee, he said. His voice was smooth, controlled, but there was a stiffness to it, like he wasn't used to being the one served. Black, he added. Amara nodded. Small, medium, or large? Large, he said quickly, then cleared his throat like he was trying to blend in but didn't quite know how. She moved to make the coffee, but something in him watched her, not in a creepy way, but in a curious one, like he was trying to figure out a puzzle he didn't expect to find here. She had no idea that this man, this seemingly ordinary customer, was actually Malik Carter, one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the city. A man whose face rarely appeared online, whose investments built buildings and whose decisions shifted fortunes. A man used to being the one in control. And yet here he was in disguise, trying to see his own business from ground level, because rumors had reached him. Rumors that staff were being mistreated, customers ignored, corners cut in his bar cafe. He didn't trust reports, didn't trust managers, and definitely didn't trust flattery. He trusted reality, and the only way to know reality was to walk in it. That's why he came. To listen, to watch, to catch what money couldn't always see. What he didn't expect was her. Amara slid his cup across the counter with a gentle smile. There you go, no flirtation, no forced friendliness, just sincerity. The kind people couldn't fake if they tried. Thank you, he replied, and meant it more than he expected. He sat at a corner table, listening quietly as she greeted customers, remembered orders without looking at the register, helped an older woman find her glasses, and even paused to speak softly to a teenage boy who came in with a stressed face and trembling hands, like the world had already been too heavy that morning. You good? She asked him gently. He nodded, breathing uneven. Just needed a break. Well, you picked the right place, she said with a small grin. Malik watched all of it. Every word, every gesture. He could tell when kindness was transactional. He had lived in a world ruled by performance. But this was real. A manager walked in, loud, frustrated, irritated. A man in a suit too tight and cologne too strong. Amara, he snapped, not even greeting her. We're expecting a private meeting today. Corporate level, so clean up faster and look sharp. And no extra talking with customers. We don't have time to babysit sympathy projects. Malik's jaw tightened. Sympathy projects? The words didn't just insult, they revealed. Power misused always did. Amara didn't flinch. She simply nodded with quiet professionalism, though Malik could see the subtle hurt in her eyes. She had learned long ago not to show when things cut her. Malik sipped his coffee. Terrible. Burnt grounds, bitter aftertaste, like someone ruined something that should have been excellent. The machine was good. The beans were expensive. The problem wasn't equipment. It was care or lack of. He set the cup down and continued observing. He had planned to reveal himself at noon after meeting the staff as just another guest. But life rarely followed plans, because just as the cafe grew busier, someone walked in who made the room shift. A woman in her late 40s with diamond earrings, a designer blazer and a bored expression, the kind worn by people who believe the world owes them comfort. Malik recognized her instantly. A board partner, someone whose opinion held weight, someone who looked at people based on status, not soul. Her eyes landed on Amara like she was looking at dust. "You," her voice cut. "Wipe that table now and hurry. I don't tolerate slow staff." Amara obediently moved, but her manager rushed forward first, flustered, eager. "Miss Danvers, welcome. Please have a seat. She'll take care of everything." "She'd better," Danvers muttered. Malik stayed silent, tension building. But the universe wasn't done yet. Because at that moment, a small accident unfolded. A little girl spilled her juice, startled and embarrassed. Most workers would panic or rush, but Amara knelt calmly beside the child, offering a reassuring smile. "Hey, it's okay. Accidents happen. We just clean them. No big deal." She spoke softly, wiped the mess, handed the girl a fresh napkin and even made her laugh. And then, without realizing it, she whispered something in perfect, gentle French. The little girl responded. She had been apologizing in French, and Amara just comforted her in the same language like it was nothing. Malik froze slightly. That wasn't basic tourist French. That was fluent, effortless, natural. The mother blinked in surprise, impressed. The manager stared like Amara had offended him simply by being extraordinary. And Miss Danvers. She looked annoyed, because talent without pedigree irritated her. It challenged her world. Malik leaned forward, intrigued now more than ever. This bar wasn't his problem anymore. This moment was. This girl was. He came to inspect staff, and instead he discovered a story unfolding. A story of dignity in silence, strength in service, hidden brilliance in a world that assumed brilliance only belonged to certain people. He didn't know what he would do yet. But he knew one thing. He wasn't leaving unseen. And neither was she. In the next moment, Amara glanced toward the camera. Her voice warm, almost like she was talking to the world beyond those glass doors. And as if speaking through time, through screens, through fate itself, her energy mirrored your channel's call. Soft but strong, welcoming but certain. So before we go deeper, if you're watching this, tell me where in the world you're tuned in from. Drop your country or city in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories travel. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share, so more people can feel inspired too. Because just like Amara, you never know who's watching, and your greatness might already be in motion. Part 2 coming next. Things are about to shift, and one sentence is going to change everything. ChatGPT said, "The cafe grew louder as noon crept closer. But inside Amara's chest there was a quiet storm brewing. She moved quickly, serving drinks, smiling when she needed to, swallowing her pride every time the manager snapped at her for something small." Malik watched like a man seeing a world he thought he understood suddenly twist in front of him. He didn't just see poor management now. He saw arrogance, entitlement, a system that punished the humble and rewarded the loud. And he felt anger rising, not because he was some savior, but because disrespect had always been one thing he never tolerated, especially toward people who worked hard. Meanwhile, Miss Danvers tapped her phone impatiently and sighed as if breathing the same air as ordinary people exhausted her. Amara set a water glass in front of her, and the woman sneered, "Finally. I swear this place has gotten sloppy." The manager nodded quickly, eager to impress. "Don't worry, ma'am. We're fixing staffing soon. Some people think this is charity work." Amara heard that. She heard everything, but she stayed composed. Malik's jaw clenched. He stood to approach, but paused as a group of businessmen entered, 3 men in suits speaking rapidly in Mandarin. They were from an investment firm Malik had been negotiating with privately, and they weren't supposed to arrive until later. The manager's eyes widened, instantly nervous. Miss Danvers perked up. Foreign investors meant power, status, money. She stood, rushing toward them with a fake smile. "Welcome. We're happy to—" One of the men cut her off, speaking Mandarin to his colleagues about how unprofessional everything already looked. Danvers blinked, fake smile freezing. The manager whispered urgently, Get the translator, now! But their translator hadn't arrived. Traffic, delays, bad timing. The investors shook their heads, unimpressed, discussing whether they should leave. Panic spread across Danvers' face like spilled ink. She turned sharply at the staff. We need someone who speaks Mandarin. Anyone? Does anyone here speak Mandarin? Everyone froze. Even Malik stayed silent, watching. Then, almost casually, like lighting a match in a quiet room, Amara stepped forward, wiping her hands on her apron. I can help. Danvers stared, confused disgust twisting her face. You? No, we need someone professional. But the investors turned, curious. They'd heard her voice. One asked in Mandarin, skeptical but polite, You speak Mandarin? Amara answered fluently, effortlessly, with perfect pronunciation. Yes, would you like to sit and begin the meeting? I'll translate accurately for you. The room froze. Conversation stopped mid-breath. The investors exchanged surprised looks, impressed. One even smiled, nodding approvingly. Malik felt something in his chest shift. Pride? Awe? Recognition? Danvers went pale, angry and stunned at the same time, and the manager blinked like the world suddenly made no sense. No, she's a waitress, he hissed. She can't, but the decision wasn't his. The lead investor gestured for Amara to sit. Please, we trust her. They settled at the table. Danvers and the manager hovered awkwardly, powerless. Malik leaned back unseen but watching every second unfold like fate turning a key. And then it happened, the moment that cracked the room like thunder. One of the investors leaned toward Amara, speaking warmly in Mandarin. You're very talented. People like you don't stay unnoticed forever. Amara translated it smoothly, but she hesitated for the first time, emotion flickering in her eyes, because sometimes hearing praise in a language that once felt impossible hits differently. Then the investor said 3 more words that weren't for business. They were for her. Words that carried weight, respect, and quiet honor. You belong higher. Amara swallowed, translating softly, but everyone heard the truth behind the tone. Malik watched her, his heartbeat steady yet heavy, because in that moment he saw not just a worker, not just a girl handling hardship with grace. He saw potential that deserved the world. The manager suddenly leaned in, whispering sharply, Remember your place. Don't get ideas. Amara didn't snap back. She didn't lower her head either. She simply looked at him with calm strength, the kind learned from surviving, not winning. And Malik's patience snapped. He stood, walked forward, and everyone looked up as if gravity itself shifted. He took off his cap, straightened his posture. Someone gasped. Recognition rippling through the room like electricity. Whispers spread. Is that... It can't be... That's Malik Carter. The manager froze in horror. Danvers staggered back and Amara blinked, not yet understanding why the air suddenly felt like history was changing around her. Malik looked at the manager first, voice quiet but razor sharp. Her place? Then he turned to Amara, eyes steady. You choose your place. Not him. The cafe fell silent, breathless, everyone waiting. And this was only the beginning, because in part 3, truth hits like lightning, power shifts, and one woman's grace becomes the spark that changes her life forever.